You're not lazy. You're overloaded. Let me start with something slightly uncomfortable. Yeah, a little uncomfortable. If you feel distracted most of the time, if focusing feels harder than it used to, if you begin tasks with motivation but struggle to finish them, if you feel exhausted but wired at the same time, you might believe the problem is you. Lack of discipline, weak willpower, low motivation. Maybe I just need to try harder. Yeah, we've all said that, but what if the problem isn't effort? What if the problem is speed? Modern life is moving at a pace your nervous system was never designed to handle. And the most dangerous part is not the speed itself, it's how normal it feels. Before your brain is fully awake, you are already consuming notifications, messages, headlines, emails, short videos, comparisons, urgency signals. Your nervous system jumps from 0 to 100 before your feet even touch the floor, which is kind of insane when you think about it. Biologically, this is not ordinary. Your brain evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to solve very different problems: finding food, detecting threats, building tools, cooperating socially, surviving unpredictable environments. It did not evolve to process endless streams of global information every few seconds. Here's something most people never realize. Your brain cannot always distinguish between a real threat and a digital signal that feels urgent. A sudden notification can trigger the same activation systems: cortisol, adrenaline, attention spikes that once helped humans survive danger. Multiply that activation by hundreds of microstimuli per day, and something predictable happens. You are not lazy. You are neurologically saturated. Busy is motion. Productivity is direction. An unmanaged speed quietly destroys direction. The solution is no longer try harder. The solution becomes manage the pace. The dopamine economy. To understand attention today, we need to talk about something widely misunderstood: dopamine. Dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure. It is the chemical of pursuit, the signal that tells your brain maybe the next thing will be interesting. This is why unpredictable rewards are more addictive than predictable ones. Slot machines use this principle. Social platforms use the exact same principle. Yeah, not a coincidence. Every time you scroll, your brain is not thinking, I enjoy this exact post. It is thinking, maybe the next one is even better. Scroll. Pull. Again, pull. Your thumb becomes a lever connected to a psychological reward loop. Over time, something subtle happens. When your brain becomes accustomed to frequent dopamine spikes, baseline reality begins to feel less stimulating. Silence feels uncomfortable. Reading feels slow. Deep focus feels harder than it used to. Not because you are broken, because your nervous system recalibrated to speed. When stimulation is constant, normal stimulation begins to feel insufficient. And that's where the problem really starts. Activities that require patience, studying, building skills, saving money, planning long-term projects, do not deliver instant reward, so they feel less appealing even when you know they matter. Yet boredom plays an essential cognitive role. It is during low stimulation periods that the brain connects ideas and produces insight. Constant stimulus creates constant reaction. Constant reaction prevents long-term pattern recognition. How speed distorts money and decisions. Now let's connect this to something extremely practical: money. When your brain operates in a fast stimulus environment, it begins to prefer immediate rewards over delayed rewards. Not because you suddenly became irresponsible, but because your nervous system is adapting to a faster feedback environment. That is why we often see patterns such as spending instead of saving, scrolling instead of studying, buying instead of building, reacting instead of planning. Behavioral research consistently shows that mental fatigue reduces the ability to delay gratification. And modern life, well, it creates a lot of mental fatigue. Context switching, notifications, information overload, multitasking, constant comparison. Each consumes small amounts of cognitive energy, draining executive function, the part of your brain responsible for planning, impulse control, risk evaluation, and long-term thinking. When this system is depleted, the brain defaults to faster decision pathways. Instead of asking, is this the best decision long-term? It asks, what feels easiest right now? Overstimulation shortens the time horizon. Saving feels slow. Investing feels boring. Skill building feels exhausting. Yet meaningful wealth and meaningful progress operate through slow compounding systems. The coyote strategy. Master the pace. So, what's the move? Not quitting technology. Not disappearing into the mountains. Not becoming anti-modern. The real move is becoming strategic with pace. The first step is reclaiming the first minutes of your day. Before notifications, before scrolling, before input, give your nervous system time to stabilize. The second step is rebuilding attention the way strength training rebuilds muscle. Short, uninterrupted work periods, even 20 to 30 minutes, gradually retrain the brain to tolerate sustained focus again. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Yeah, totally normal. That's recalibration. The third step is lowering stimulation strategically. Reducing unnecessary alerts and creating small windows of low stimulation environments allow the brain to integrate information instead of constantly reacting. The fourth step is expanding your time horizon. Ask a simple question. Will this matter in 3 years? You do not necessarily need more discipline. You need fewer false urgency signals. When noise decreases, clarity increases. And clarity, that's the real unfair advantage.